Friends, have you ever wondered what turns a starving boy into a storm that shakes empires? Our story begins not in a palace or with royalty, but in a cold, windswept land where survival was the only rule. In 1162, deep in the harsh Mongolian steppes, a boy was born to a tribal chief. His name was Temoj. He didn't know it yet, but the world would one day remember him by another name, Genghis Khan, a name that would send chills down the spines of kings and emperors across the world. But at that moment, he was just a child, vulnerable, hungry, forgotten. Temujin's early life was no fairy tale. When he was just 9 years old, his father was poisoned by rival Tatars during a peace mission, and instead of supporting his widow and children, the clan abandoned them. The young boy, his mother, and his siblings were left to starve in the unforgiving wilderness. Their animals were stolen, their protection gone. They ate wild roots, raw meat, and sometimes nothing at all. His mother, Holin, tried to keep them alive, but hunger clawed at their bones, and the cold burned their skin. There were no fairy godmothers, only wolves. But sometimes, pain becomes the greatest teacher. One day, Temujin's half-brother stole food from the family. Temujin, still a child, took a bow and arrow and killed him. That was the moment the world began to change. He wasn't just a boy anymore, he was someone who would never allow betrayal. Someone who would do whatever it took to survive. Despite this grim beginning, Temujin had something rare vision. He realized that tribes living in constant betrayal and revenge would never grow. He began to dream not just of surviving, but of uniting. He knew that loyalty could be more powerful than blood. Over the years, he forged deep friendships and alliances, not with noblemen, but with warriors who respected strength and fairness. One of his strongest bonds was with Yamuka, a boy from a noble clan, and together they became blood brothers. But fate wasn't done in him. Captured by an enemy tribe, he was made a slave, bound in a wooden collar. He could barely walk, yet even there, he observed. He listened, and he planned. A single act of mercy from a prison guard helped him escape, and he never forgot it. That moment taught him the power of remembering loyalty. As Temujin grew, so did his strength. He began gathering followers not because of his birth, but because of his justice. He rewarded loyalty, punished betrayal, and gave the poor a place in his ranks. Slowly, tribe by tribe, men began to follow him, not out of fear, but because they believed in his vision. He changed how Mongols saw power. No longer was it about being born into a noble family. With Temujin, even a former servant could rise to become a general. He broke centuries of tribal tradition. This wasn't just a rebellion, it was a revolution. And then, in 1206, everything changed. After years of battles, escapes, alliances, betrayals, and survival, Temujin stood before all Mongol tribes. They gave him a new name, Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler. It wasn't just a title, it was a signal to the world. The storm had arrived. But what makes his story truly terrifying and fascinating is this: he didn't want revenge anymore. He wanted the world. He wasn't building an army just for war, he was building an empire. And this was only the beginning. This story is still ongoing, and the next part will be up on this channel soon. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.